Hello and welcome to the new Monday stuff I'm going to be doing. I originally called this From My Collection because it was, me just going, oh hey, look at what I added to this, I added this to my collection and everything like that. But now we're going to be calling this Adding to the Archives or something like that. This isn't going to be like an actual weekly video series or anything like that. It's just me going, oh man, look at what I've added, because my newest goal is, well, to have a giant archive of comics and eventually open a comic book museum. Granted, I know I've got like 20 years until I'll be able to, get the loans to do that, but, so yeah, I got a giant box full of comics. I think it was $80 off eBay, or it's a box of 80 for like $50 off eBay, something like that. I know it was a nice little fun thing, but, so yeah, let's crack into it. And I love getting comic lots because I never really know what I'm getting, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't get a lot of first issues, which could be a problem for people who really do just want to collect, and I am kind of one of those people, because if I have an issue 4, I need the first 3 issues, because it's like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. And yes, I'm one of those people. But anyways, so let's get cracking into this. I already opened the box, mainly to get all the packing peanuts out, although the person used shredded newspaper and cardboard, which to me is, especially since none of them were bagged or boxed, or bagged or boarded, so it was like, oh man. But they're actually still very decent quality, and eventually I will get around to bagging and boarding them, and then throwing them into my archive. Okay, so let's grab a handful. Well, actually first, there's a couple I did pick up, or a couple that I had just donated to me without them being in this box, and I'll talk about them first. Just another Futures End, because apparently I have to collect all of the Futures Ends just by sheer force of collecting the things from Walmart. And then we have Cat Grant's Revenge during the Jurgens Rubinstein era of Superman. I have no idea why Cat Grant's shooting at someone. I don't know who Cat Grant is shooting. And oh hey, RoboCop 3 on the Genesis. But I actually really don't know that much about Superman. I mean, I've read a lot of books, like, For Tomorrow and everything like that, but considering the sheer volume of Superman-related content in comic form, once I start doing the reader's history of that, if someone decides to go over to my Patreon and, like, finally make me do that, I'll do it in probably, bronze, silver, gold, I'd pretty much do it in small bursts, because I can't really cover 25,000 comics all in a couple videos. I mean, like right now, the reader's history of Cloak and Dagger, and that's only at 180 comics, and only half of those are really focused on Cloak and Dagger, and those videos are longer than Sin currently. Yes, this week will be the more Spider-Man one, where they're talking about their third run, which is Spider-Man, which is in the Spider-Man books. Anyways, so I also got the giant size Walmart special Superman, which also comes with the Terrifics, Plastic Man, I don't know who the chick is, Metamorpho, and Mr. Terrific. So basically the Silver Age Outsiders. Anyways, next we have a Dynamite comic, issue 0. Hold on, let's see if I can get this to focus on the comic better. Sword Quest from the Atari. Yeah, I love the cover. And we got Bauer, Sims, and Ghost Rider X. On art and colors, we have Ghost Rider X. I've made fun of companies or people that use their user handle as their moniker, like Jock and other people. But at least those names could be studios or people. Ghost Rider X being on art is like just weird, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's weird is all. Then we have, sorry, trying to sort. I know, me live is never a good thing. Sunflower. Which, one, I love this cover. And it does wrap around to the back, It looks really cool to me. But Sunflower is from 451 Studio, which I have never heard of. The art in the book is great. It's by Mark Mallock, Andy Ewington. Oh, sorry. Created and written by Mark Mallock, adapted by Andy Ewington, illustrated by Lee Carter. Lee Carter? This is some really nice book. And what's nice is, at least flipping through, you see really like some full pages of no dialogue with the art explaining, and it's number 3 of 6, which I'm kind of sad about. I would love to have, you know, 1 through 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, but I make do. Next we have Image Circuit Breaker, number 2, which really goes for that anime art style that, you know, I never really, or the manga art style that a lot of people, you know, have asked me, you know, well, you did manga first, so, you know, what's your thoughts on, you know, the fact that art has really been, American art has been really influenced by manga and anime, and it's like, well, I dig it when it's done well. And here, you know, hopefully you can see that well, is that it actually works very well for the story they're telling, you know, over enthusiastic bombast. And that's Kevin McCarthy and Kyle Baker on art, and Kyle Baker, it looks good. Next we have Dynamite Battlestar Galactica, Gods and Monsters number 3, which, if I recall, is part of their relaunch, or not relaunch, but relaunching of the, well, Battlestar Galactica line of comics and everything like that. If I remember rightly, Gods and Monsters was their first real foray into that. I could easily be wrong, but what I'm actually really looking more towards, even though it's already out and everything, is the Battlestar Galactica versus Battlestar Galactica they did, where it's the 80s show, the 70s, 80s show versus the modern one that everyone really likes for being dark and edgy. And because Katie Sackhoff. But anyways, next we have Archlight number 3. I also really like this cover, but the one thing that does bug me about it is how bare bones it is. Like, it's like, you know, Archlight looks like it's in, you know, Courier or Arial Sans, or, you know, one of those like really basic Microsoft Word stuff, and it kind of makes it just look weird. But it's by Marion Churchland, with story by Brandon Graham and letters by Ariana Maurer. I'm sorry. Then we continue our Dynamite run. Apparently this is going to be most... Oh no, those were Image and Dynamite. So it's Image, Dynamite, and some people I had never heard of. Got the Magnus. Well, Magnus. This is part of their Sovereigns run, although the storyline is Between Two Worlds. And I actually kind of like how they set up, you know, here's the thing, here's what it's close to, and then they actually put the storyline like along the side, so you can really tell, okay, I know this is issue, you know, 3 of this, or stuff like that. It works well for books that are trying to serialize more, and I know DC's been doing that, and I know Marvel tried that. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but, well, I'll find out later. Anyways, I have 3 issues, issues 0, 1, and 2 of The Sovereigns, which was Dynamite's end of the Golden Age run, where it has Magnus, Turok, Solar, and Dr. Spectre. And I'll probably be doing, I know I'll at least be doing a Binging on Comics of that event. I'm not sure if there's enough issues in it to really cover a reader's history, but we'll find out. And of course, people who worked on that is like Kyle Higgins, Ray Fawkes, Aubrey Sitterson, and Chuck Wendig. And then we've got from Black Mask, which has actually been a studio that I kind of really dig a lot of. 90% of the time, I think I've only really been once on one of their books, and even then it wasn't like really, wow, that was terrible. It was just not bad. So they're, at the very least, at their worst, they're not bad. But anyways, this is The Skeptics, and it's number 3 by Teenie Howard and Devaki Myogi. I'm so sorry about how I pronounce names. This is why I don't do live. But it's really fun, looks really cool. I'm really interested just because, you know, with a cover like that on the shelf, it's like, okay, let's see. But that's number 3, so I've got 2 for, you know, I gotta collect 2 more before I can actually read that one. We have Sombra, which is by Boom Studios. This is actually luckily #1. It's by Justin Jordan, Royal Trevino, Juan Useche? And I have no idea. Then we got Lords of the Jungle, #2, another Dynamite, right? Yeah. And I think I did a first issues on the first one, because it's pretty much teams up Sheena and Tarzan, or features Sheena and Tarzan at the very least. Then we have Masked Anomalies, which I like Creedy's art. I think it's Creedy. And actually both of these are the same issue, just 2 different covers, and I prefer this kind of cover, but to each their own, you know. Excuse me. Okay, it looks like we're breaking into the Marvel section of this, because pretty much what happened was I got 4 packs that came in with this box. 1 was all Marvel, 1 was all DC, and 2 were indies. So, Muties #2, Toy Soldiers, or Mutie Toy Soldiers #2. The thing that makes me kind of giggle about this is that, let's see who's worked on this. Carl Bowler, writer, Patrick Spazianti on pencils, Danny Mickey. Wow, that's a lot of colors. But anyways, what I actually like about this is that Marvel kind of likes jumping between Muties being their version of the N-word and versus it just being, you know, kind of like, or rather, I think it's more towards like, not so much the N-word, but like tranny versus, you know, trans. Although I'm not sure if mutes would be the, you know, proper term for if Muties is to tranny as trans is to, you know what I mean? But I just like that because, you know, it becomes one of those Mutie. Wow, that's it. It makes me giggle. I understand if it makes no one else giggle. Then we have, some Generations. Iron Man and Ironheart. Maybe, wow. Yes, I'm doing this by an open window, and yes, things just got a heck of a lot darker. But anyways, we got Iron Man and Ironhearts, which maybe that's going to be the one that turns me around on Ironheart. You know what I mean? And I'm actually really glad that I did get that, because I've gotten a couple people, because I brought up in my All Negroes comic binging on comics special, that I would have preferred it if Rhodey's niece took over instead of just creating a new person and going, oh yeah, she's totally the smartest person now, everyone love her. But like I said, I'm hoping the Generations really bridges that so that I can get behind the character. And then we have, well, something kind of redundant lately. Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers, Captain America, as the America's Generation. The reason I say that that's kind of weird is because Sam and Steve have continually been crossing over, you know, since Falcon became Captain America. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of redundant, you know. Now maybe Commie Smasher, if Sam Wilson decided to team up with Captain America during the 50s, that's a way to do it. Excuse me. Again, I think I got a cold working this fair this previous weekend. I shared a picture on my Twitter. No, I swear I'm not just doing these to plug myself. Clearly, I'm plugging Hawkeye and Hawkeye. Now, I've actually gotten a lot of people who turned around and said this is actually really good, and this is part of the Hawkeye fan site I'm on. Well, Hawkeye fan group. Thanks to Facebook, everyone gets to have their own group, except me. I haven't started a group yet. But I liked Kate Bishop when she was introduced in Young Avengers. I've always loved Clint Barton. It's how I learned to shoot. Sorry, it's awfully hot in here. It's muggy, hot, and yeah. But anyways, but over the past, couple runs, they've been really trying to push this you know, Kate's the future awesome amazingness that I've just, while making Clint the ass monkey, or the butt monkey, sorry. You know, whereas it's going over goofy, and, you know, West Coast Avengers, the new one with Kelly Thompson on writing, I liked. It is nothing like the original, and, you know, I feel the original's better, but that's because I've, you know, expanded on, you know, with a 56, you know, it had a ton of issues, had a ton of drama, but the West Coast Avengers is starting out, and a lot of people I know are either love it or hate it. I like it, and I mean, come on, it's the only book in the past decade that has not made me want to beat Quentin Quire and the writer to death with a flip-flop. She's not using him, you know, going, hey, remember Grant Morrison made him great? I'm going to ride those coattails. Also, if the Phoenix Force is never mentioned, there's an instant buy right there. I will subscribe. I will pull it every single time Kelly Thompson does not mention the Phoenix Force. Sorry, bit of a rant there. Next we have The Mighty Thor and The Unworthy Thor. I do not like the unworthy aspect of Thor, because he's worthy, especially since Original Sin was kind of bad, and I just could never get behind Jane Foster Thor like I could when Jason Aaron did the God Butcher Thor run. The only big thing, I think the biggest reason why no one can get behind Jane Foster as Thor was because there was a weak mystery at the very beginning of who is she. And then you're also turning around and going, oh yeah, she's totally Thor now, as opposed to Thunderstrike after he lost the Thor essence or whatever. You know, he was Thunderstrike. Or then you know what I mean? Every time Thor is Thor until he's not Thor. So it's like, you know, it's weird. Be like Sam Wilson taking over Captain America and calling himself Steve. But I think I've already made that rant a while ago. And yeah. So next, my favorite Spider-Man meets up with my growing up Spider-Man. My favorite Spider-Man has always been Miles Morales. Well, not always. I loved Peter Parker's run in the 80s. I was a kid when the Clone Saga came out, so I'm like, cool! 2 Spider-Man! Awesome! And then by the time that Miles Morales came up, I was really, you know, I was matured. And then all of a sudden he became my Spider-Man because he was interesting. You have all these, you know, billions of things from Peter Parker, all telling the same high school story. No one wants to go into his college years. No one wants to bring up Macy or whatever her name was. You know, the weird things that were happening. Like, even I brought it up in my reader's history. Not a lot of people actually, you know the post-high school days of Peter Parker. And even now, they've totally changed so that now his, you know, post-high school life is, his college life is, and then, wow, you run Parker Industry, and I don't know where he's at in his current books. I could be easily wrong. Anyways, I'm going to continue trying not to rant through this so it's not 100, you know, not an hour, and okay, it might be an hour-long thing that might get set up. Anyways, next Generations is The Ms. Hulk and Banner Hulk. No, I'm not going to call him the totally awesome Hulk. Amadeus Cho, I could never get into him. I didn't mind him in the Champions books, but apparently, excuse me, but apparently I should totally hate the Champions books. But something I do hate. Either way, I still haven't read those. I really should read the Generations, and I might do a binging on comics just to do a general overview of them, or maybe reader's history on Generations, since technically it's a billion different things. But here's some things that I actually did hate. Steve Rogers, Captain America number 16. Secret Empire opening salvo. Yes, I will eventually do a reader's history or binging on comics. I'm still not sure on what the cutoff issue-wise I'm going to do for, you know, becomes a reader's history. But I was one of the... I was one of the few fanboys to actually say, wow, I actually like the opener to Steve Rogers Captain America #1, you know, the Hail Hydra ender. But because it opened up so many different possibilities and directions, and then that sank fast, so fast. And Spencer's good in the indie scene. He doesn't grasp writing characters that have a history, if that makes any sense. But I'm actually going to be starting up a creator's history of, like, you know, pretty much like reader's history, but with creators. Will I read a lot of comics for it? Yes. But will it be mostly me just saying the origins and, you know, my views on the strengths and weaknesses of a writer? Yes. But I'm not going to be mean about it, and I'm not going to add them if it's like, you know, here's me bitching about, you know, all of the times that Nick Spencer pisses me off, especially on his Twitter. I'm not going to do that because sharing positivity is so much better than sharing negative. Well, do I have negative reviews and first issues and everything like that? Yes, I do. Because when I read, you know, 20 first issues a week, there's going to be, wow, that wasn't good, or that was legit terrible. But either way, let's move on. Again, then we have, oh wow, an X Factor. The original X Factor. Polaris versus Random. Random is a character I don't think anyone remembers, and for good cause, but I'll be covering him. I think he was on the Marvel Knights team with Dagger, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, and some fun Polaris. Actually, what's great is that I do have like the first 40 or 50 issues of X Factor, so adding to that collection is always awesome. Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. Anyone who remembers me talking about the all-new Ghost Rider, where I complain about Terry Moore's Bleach knockoff mask for him, isn't that bad. But this is 4 on the Floor as a crossover between, I think, the Champions and all those specialty books. Solo books, not specialty books. But either way, I've been told that if I did dislike, excuse me again. Sorry. If I did dislike the all-new Ghost Riders, I will probably like the Robbie Reyes. So, hoping for the best there. X-Men, Children of the Atom, Book 2. I'm assuming that's Book 2 and not Book Z. But, hey. And honestly, I have no idea what this is. All children wear the sign. I don't, like, legit, I have no idea what this is. It looks like it's a, it's Joe Casey, so it shouldn't be that bad, but hey, I'll look into more of that later. And then we have Psylocke and Archangel, or Psylocke and Angel. He was still Archangel at the time because he was blue. But Crimson Dawn. I don't know why. Within her heart lies the purest of loves and the greatest of evils. Okay, that's neat. Is that they put all the, you know, previously on and cast the characters and everything, and featuring your new guide to the Marvel. Oh, okay, I see how that goes. So yeah, I kind of dig that, actually. You know, so you don't actually take pages of the comic away. You're literally just going, okay, you know, fold out. Ooh, be weird. I'll grant you that, but hey, you know, it would. Doing stuff like that would actually, hold that thought, doing stuff like that would actually, you know, make the price of $3.99 slightly better, slightly more. Sorry about that, I had to take a call. It's getting dark out, or it's getting thundery out, and the kids are at the park. So, back to where we were, yeah, right. So, Crimson Dawn, Cool. Next we have Pride and Wisdom, which after the if I recall, it's after Excalibur, ended. Pride and Kitty Pryde and Petey Wisdom were still a thing. So, and they were actually relatively popular, at least at the time. Also, I feel old. Like, I know this is something that a lot of people say, when they see old ads and everything like that, but like, but Pride and Wisdom, I've always liked Kitty Pryde and Pete Wisdom, but I didn't realize they actually had a solo series. Speaking of not realizing they had a solo series, Sabretooth and Mystique. Why? Like, the 90s, yeah, Jan 97. The 90s were very much what we see now. Throw as much against the wall and hope something sticks. Everyone wants that number one because the number ones sell, or people buy the number one, so they try putting out as many number ones as possible rather than focusing on quality. Although I'm not saying they don't have any quality content. Oh wow. Xavier Security Enforcers. That's Bishop and Shard on the cover. And yeah, this was during the February 97. This is during the extermination, if that makes any sense, because a lot of people like saying, all 90s. It was mostly the mid-90s onward that everything became extreme. And Xavier Security Force was basically X-Force. I know X-Force was still running around at this time, if I recall, but that's basically what it was. It wasn't, it is like 90 degrees outside, and this room is like a sauna. But that's why I continue trying to get you people to donate to my Patreon. Sorry, bad plug. But anyways, yeah, so Xavier Security Enforcers, think X-Force, think, another X team, but this time they're still enforcing security. Ooh, then we have Doom 2099, number 2. And I know nothing about Doom 2099. I know I should. But the 2099 series has always been either really hit or really miss. There's never just been it's alright. Like Spider-Man 2099, it's good. It's like legitimately good. It's grungy. It feels lived in. I actually have written up a binging on comics for Spider-Man 2099. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet because I'm not doing the same layout for binging on comics as I did, if you noticed by the last special. So, we'll see how that goes. Ooh, Chris Priest. Right? Haha. Inhumans. Once and Future Kings, number 1. This came out. Has to be October 2017. Really? I thought they were still trying to do that Royals thing in 2017. But either way, I like Chris Priest, so I will probably, and it's a number 1, so I'll probably read it. Here's something that I have a feeling 90% of people watching, even if you are a comics fan, and even if you read comics every day, may not know. The Marvel New Universe. This is the Star brand, where they explain the White Event. Oh. In 2018, calling something the White Event may not be a good idea. But I know, that's a horrible joke. I use humor as a defusing mechanism. And, oh hey, I actually have The Pit and a few other of these, because it happened mid-80s. I want to say it was early mid-80s, when Marvel pretty much did what they did with the Ultimate Universe, except instead of making it, oh, here's this. I'm not entirely sure why the X-Men are here either, because their universe didn't have mutants, Captain America's heroes. It was literally regular Earth, and then boom, White Event happens, several people have powers. That's the story. And I'm totally going to do a bit reader's history on this, mainly because it's like, it was unique for, especially in mid-'80s, you know, where superhero books were actually still relatively selling. Marvel was slowly going down, but that it wasn't really even going down. It was actually gaining. It wasn't until the 90s that Marvel hit their thing. But they're like, let's try this. I think it was a Shooter. I think Jim Shooter came up with it. Okay, so this one was 88. So it had to be, okay, we'll go mid-80s. Because Starbrand was around, because this is number 12. So year before that, you know, 87. Okay. Anyways, I think Jim Shooter came up with it. I'll go over that more later. Then we have, again, the thing that I already complained about last video, Secret Empire number 3. Excuse me. Although, I would love to have that cover as a poster. And I think Marvel should really start offering that, you know. Wow, you like this poster? Or you like this cover? Order it as a poster. Or even go, you know, hey, for $3.99 you can do this. Or, if you get the physical copy for $4.99, you also get a really nice double-sized poster. You know, one of those, they're like, it doesn't have to be full-size poster, but like, you know, maybe a foot by 20 inches, you know, 12 by 20 inches or something like that. Just something, you know. And then we have, actually sitting in the box, then we have a Dark Horse comic. Sorry about that, I got a call again. Anyways, yes, Grendel Tales, The Devil May Care. I have never heard of it. I like it. It looks like Badger. Like I said, don't know who Badger is. I will do a reader's history on him because he's kind of insane and I love him. Then we have Sheena, Queen of the Jungle number 0, as well as, if I recall, actually I think I might have this already because I think this was their free comic book day or their 25-cent, you know, previews thing. If not, then I have, you know, something that looks exactly like it. Cursed Words, Image, 25th Anniversary, The Future of Comics, by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. Once upon a time, there was a wizard. Then it all went to hell. Actually, I kind of dig that. Looks neat. And there's a koala on it. I like koalas. Oh boy. Number 3. It's number 3. Hookjaw. I kind of really need to get the rest of this because that is a striking cover. And C. Spurrier is actually really good writing-wise. I think I've said some nice things about C. I don't know if C is a guy's name or a girl's name, so I can't even assume. So, then we have Saga, Chapter 41. I have gushed about this book since, well, I read the first issue. I don't know if I did it. I think I did Saga number 1 as a first issues, flashback firstie, because a friend said, dude, you should totally read it, you'll like it. It's only on a couple of issues out, so, you know, you get into it now, boom. And guess what? Since they are going to be going on a year-long hiatus very shortly, I am thinking I may do a reader's history on it. I know I want to do reader's histories on, you know, finite things, but, well, it's finite because it has a hiatus. And I'm kind of wondering if everyone's going to go once it comes back. Oh man, it wasn't as good as before. Sorry, I know nerds. Next we have Kaboom's Brave Chef, Brianna. Only person I knew who spelled their name like that pronounced it Brianna, so. Anyways, I'm assuming it's about a brave chef. I honestly have no idea. But Sam Sykes, Selena Espiritu, and Sarah Stern, it's got that great, like, modern cartoon look to it. You know, that Steven Universe-y kind of thing. Excuse me. Hold on. They're not sponsored, but you can tell by the can what I drink constantly. Excuse me. So, So I actually I can never get into Steven Universe. Not that it's bad or anything like that. It's just, to me, I could never get into it. You know? So, and I do always say that it's not bad. It's just, I couldn't do it. But the artwork I actually think works really well when it comes down to comics, you know? It translates well to comic books. So, next we have an IDW. I think this is the only IDW I may have. But 24 Legacy. 24 Legacy Rules of Engagement. Issue 1, so hey. But 24 Legacy was when they tried to remake 24 this time with I do not remember the actor who played him, but instead of Jack Bauer, it was Christopher Farnsworth wrote this. Sorry, I can't hear the names Farnsworth without thinking, good news, everyone! But, anyways, you know, and I actually haven't checked out Legacy yet. I want to, and I think it's on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon or whatever, but I just haven't had the time. Just like, I think I've only seen the first issue and a half of that one thing. The 24 miniseries thing they did. Next is, oh hey, Oni Press's The Mighty Zodiac, number 1 and number 2. I actually have a first issues now for the first one, which I actually really like. And also, Space Battle Lunchtime is actually something that I also have and I also really want. Guy Ritchie's Gamekeeper. Yeah. I didn't know Guy Ritchie had a comic. I didn't know it's created by Guy Ritchie, but it's actually scripted by Jeff Parker, so maybe not everyone talks like this, yeah? I'm sorry, that's a horrible joke that maybe a lot of people who haven't seen a lot of Guy Ritchie films don't get. But anyways, it's by Virgin Comics. There's going to be a publisher's history that's going to be hilarious to talk about, because Virgin has tried everything. Basically, Virgin is, if I had the money that Richard Branson had, it would be the company I do. Oh man, let's make sodas, let's make comics, let's do this, that, and everything else. And most of it would fail. Just like Virgin. Dynamite number 2, The Death-Defying Devil and the Flame. The Death-Defying Devil is actually the original Daredevil, before Marvel made their Daredevil. Sorry if you hear some rain behind you there. Those are some heavy-ass raindrops. Okay, so let's try getting through this relatively quickly. Then we have the Luna Brothers, The Sword, from Image. I've always liked the Luna Brothers. I still have the Binging on Comics, classic Binging on Comics of their run of Girls. Invisible Hands, never heard of it. It's from American Gothic Press, but beat something. Boombox, Jonesy. I actually have issue 1, but I let Jello borrow it, if you remember her from my earlier videos. Sam Humphries on art is also, I think it's Sam Humphries. Maybe I always want to call him, yeah. It's by Caitlin Rose Boyle and Sam Humphries, colors by Brittany Beers, and letters by Corey Breen. Like I said, the art style of modern comics really modern cartoons really flows into that. Ooh, we got a DeCampi book. Mayday. Number 2 of 5. Bah. Image. Miss Fury. By Karina Becco again. I think I've mentioned her before in this or the earliest video. Ooh, we're into DC. Star Trek, The Next Generation Showdown. Nice. That is actually number 42 in their Star Trek run. And you know what? It was better than Marvel's Star Wars run. The original, not the new one. Injustice, Ground Zero number 2. Actually, I think I have Ground Zero number 1 somewhere in my modern need to be boxed, or need to be put into boxes, long boxes, pile. Then we have Ground Zeroes issue 7. Doom Patrol. Number 13. Yes, I know, I feel like I'm speeding through, because I am. Superman in Action Comics number... Oh, that's the 93 Action Comics, so it's like only number 40. Because they renumbered, like... To be fair, they renumbered like 3 or 4 times. Batman in Detective Comics number 615. The Penguin Affair in Part 2 of 3. Legion of Superheroes by Levitt. I honestly have no idea. I know nearly nothing on Legion of Superheroes, and yeah, I know, I can admit that. Then we also have some more Legion of Superheroes. Starboy. I don't know why he's wearing Donna Troy's outfit. Ha. Okay, that's a bad joke if no one knows, you know, her Troya years. But yeah, jeez. How many Legions do I have? Tons. You don't know how much I don't think even I probably don't actually know how much Legion material DC has put out. Okay, and then we'll hit the final bit. Commandi. Wow. Got some nice 3 Commandis here. And those are from... Oh, those are the classic Commandi, not the new Commandi that... Yeah. Though I still want to give that a try. Like, because I remember Brian Hines brought it up in one of his videos. Anyways... Fate. This is after Dr. Fate kind of lost his thing. Like, the Fate series became, you know, it was still technically Dr. Fate, but it was weird because they tried pretty much doing what they did when Guy Gardner became the Warrior. Let's see, we've got some Animal Man. This is classic Animal Man. Well, I don't know how classic Animal Man is. And look at... But yeah, just look at that hook head. I mean, let's be fair. This is a cool ad. I mean, and literally all it says on it is, you know, TriStar, coming this Christmas, TriStar. So it's like, whoa. Okay, maybe I'm just wicked into old school ads. Then some more Animal Man, number 41 and 42. Awesome. And then we have the Vertigo Animal Man line. I think this came out in 2000s? 94. Okay, I was way off. But, because I forgot that, I think it was the Vertigo Animal Man came out, then the Animal Man, no, because this came out in 91. Or at least the ad for Star Trek 3. So, and that came out in 91, so. Anyways, Vertigo Animal Man. Also Vertigo Animal Man. I don't know why they switched him over to a Vertigo, you know, why they switched him to Vertigo. I assumed it was because they could explore more of the animal aspects, but I could be easily wrong there. Then we have, okay, looks like we are out of the DC, because Halo, Rise of Atriox. And I've never been a Halo fan. It's not that I dislike them, it's just that I don't like Xboxes. And I will admit that it's a very petty thing. I grew up playing a PlayStation controller. They feel more comfortable in my hand. It's also why my wrist makes this sound. But anyways, so, but I've heard that the Halo peripheral stuff, like the books, the comics, pretty much anything that isn't the game is really in-depth and awesome, so I might read it. I will read it, but I might read it, I might hop onto it and go, wow, that is actually really decent. Then we have, from Project Black Sky? Oh, Dark Horse, okay. Ghost. Okay, Project Black Sky is one of their, I'm assuming like just brands they want to do, because Chris Sabella does this one, and then on the back you have Captain Midnight, who's also part of the Project Black Sky thing. So neat. I'm assuming it was them trying to create their own supergroup, or at least expand more into being familiar like DC and Marvel. A lot of people have done that before, even I, when, I'll get to that video way later, when maybe one person will go, that wasn't so bad. So anyways, and finally, 30 Days of Night, Spreading the Disease. I liked the first 30 Days of Night, the comic. I actually liked the movie too. And then I remember disliking the second or third one. I'm not sure on which one I read. It could have easily, because it felt so phoned in. So maybe it was the third one I read and skipped the second one, which I shouldn't have. But either way, that is every comic that I got, well, just from this box. I'm actually thinking about, doing a comic bento subscription or something else, like, because I like comics. I like getting these I don't know what I'm getting boxes, unless I'm actually actively looking for something. Like when I did the Power Rangers Then and Now, which, by the way, the next Then and Now I've decided, and if you've made it to the end of this video, you deserve something. The next comic series I'm doing for Then and Now is going to be the West Coast Avengers. And I know there's going to be some people going, oh, that's not fair. Well, big reason I'm doing it is because of ComicGate and the stupidity of fans. Not even fans, I want to call them anti-fans, because, and yet Randy, I don't know what name he's going by on Twitter right now. I think Count Darkula? He might have changed it. But, brought it up as a term, and it's been a term. I've always been trying to figure out a term to say, no, it's not fans that are doing this. Fans, they will complain. You know what I mean? They will go, oh, that book was crap, but read this. Or, oh man, that was great. Or, basically, fans aren't just the solely negative, trolly SOBs. And you can argue, and this is going to be a video for later, but, fans aren't. Do they gatekeep? Yes. No true fan kind of gatekeeping, but it's also based on, people. It's like, fans are individuals, first and foremost, so they bring in, anyways, all that's gonna come up in another video I'm doing. I don't want to do a direct ComicGate video because, well, one side doesn't like me because I am, for first issues, I was critical. I did point out, Black was a good book, just hindered by trying to be current and hip, young hip. And, and there's all these other things. So I've already had people turn around and, All Negro Comics was because someone kept seeing me go, this is an okay book, but it could have been better, or that just was skippable. It wasn't anything special. And thinking, oh, clearly he must have an agenda. And, so, yeah, this kind of became a vlog, half, this is half vlog, half, look at what I got. But that's always the fun of these. And if you'd like to donate, so if you'd like to donate your comics, or just donate your money, go to Patreon, or my PayPal. I have direct, up there, not up there, but up at Patreon. I also have a direct, if you just want to donate one time, just go, hey, donate that, hey, review this, give the donation, and then if you're done with it, go for it. Like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. If you actually have a suggestion, like maybe you're going to go, oh, hey, I sell comic lots, I'll give you a discount. Boom, leave it in the description. If you actually think, one of the comics I got was, wow, you should totally do, just a one-shot binging on comics on it, or just anything, let me know in the comments below. As always, I'm the Archivist, and you should stay golden, Inklings. How am I shutting this off?